All right. Hey, welcome back, Nate. How are you? It's Nate Summers.
How you doing?
It says Nate's iPhone, but we'll go just with that. We'll call him iPhone for short. There we go. I go Android, Samsung. I'm
Yeah.
not smart enough for iPhone. So, hey, buddy, how you been?
I'm feeling better. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well,
For a while there, I wasn't feeling so great, but I'm feeling good now.
well, good deal. Hey, welcome to our 1 year anniversary episode. It's been a year since we kicked this off, believe it or not.
I remember last time we were talking, and I can't believe it's already been a year. That's pretty amazing how
Yeah,
quick time flies.
right. Um, yeah, I kind of stepped back from a knife shop for a little bit because I got major maker burnout and sales weren't right there, as I mentioned in the past before. But went back to
Hmm.
been dreading going back to driving truck, but now
Yeah.
I'm back driving truck for been about 2 months, 2.5 months, and I'm like, what the hell was I bitching about? I'm on vacation. Yeah. Everyone's like, what are you doing here? It says I'm on vacation. They look at you funny, like literally, I'm on a paid vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
For those
Yeah.
who's never operated a business, let alone in the knife making business, it can be tough at times.
Oh, I don't. It's I think I don't remember. I don't remember if we talked about this last time, but I've stressed to this point to myself and to a lot of other makers that I feel all of us are still on an agrarian calendar, like we are still seasonal in everything we do. That we have to work and make stuff, and that takes time. And we hopefully that lines up with the weather. I mean, sometimes we work for months on a big project, and it turns out by the time we're done, it's not quite perfect timing. It has to wait on something else, and so it's kind of a slump or kind of a lull. Or other times, the best opportunities are right now, and like, hey, this is good weather, you need to make hay while the sun shines, and so
Mm.
you have to run out there and like we just found out something is a good lead or is a hit, and so whatever plans for the future you kind of have to wait, and you just you work with the weather. So you
Yes.
weather of course being an analogy for market.
Yes.
Yeah, the market is not a linear thing. It doesn't just exist in a constant flat line of there's a couple
Man,
people.
wouldn't that be nice if it did, though?
Oh, isn't that incredible? Wouldn't that be? Yeah, wouldn't that? You mean that? Yeah, that would take the thought and the creativity like entirely out of it. The whole thing would be clockwork.
Right.
That's
It is
why it's
also
a.
I'm also sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's
Oh no,
also
yeah.
very regional. There's pockets like back in Tennessee,
Hmm.
lower Midwest. There's guys that just can't keep them on their table.
Yeah,
And there's other
yeah,
guys, and and I got to the point where I was just making the stuff I can make like this. I can put a blindfold on me. I could probably make it.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm looking at, yeah, I got some good stuff on the table, but it's just like, and I'm sure you've done it before. You're making some stuff, and you look at it, it's like I can do better. I was starting to feel
Hmm.
my work wasn't where it should be. I started to
Yeah.
worry. I was trying to do the hustle too much. I was going to start losing. You know
We
where I'm
call
getting
it.
at?
Oh yeah, well that's the curse of the craftsman. Is something I've heard that described before, and I liked that a lot. Is that I don't think anybody who really loves making can ever be fully satisfied, or at least satisfied for very long, with finished work. That is, we finish it, and something about it is we'll find a reason to have to make another one. I think that
I
is the
mean,
curse of the craftsman. Like we'll find like it's unfortunately I think a lot of us look for flaws. Like there's
mhm.
something about this that is not even if it's sold, and even if something like hey everybody was happy with it, well now I don't have it anymore, and I feel like I could do that again but better. And I know a lot of the all of us will scrutinize our own work,
Oh
pick it
yeah.
up and like okay, I got 98% on this, but there's this one scratch over here, or it's slightly asymmetrical from side to side.
Or
Or I took it to a 400 grit finish when I really should have taken it like one grit fern or grit finer. And I think that is power. I mean, I think that is a central feature. If I, as I'm talking, and if you're listening, whoever's listening, um, if you feel that way about your work, you're not alone. Every craftsman is like that. Is that we all scrutinize our own work. We're all looking for room for improvement. And even if there's none to be found, that itself almost feels like a flaw. Like I didn't have anything wrong. I don't,
or you
you know,
get
I
in a
don't care for
hurry to
that.
or you get in a hurry like I did on this, and instead of just waiting and order a little thicker liner material for stainless steel, I made a liner
Yeah.
lock
Yeah.
and should have got a little more tooling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so
Yeah.
it, I can go past the liner lock there. It's a little
That looks
thin,
good.
and it's got a couple hair gap in between the back of the blade. I mean, it's still going to be a good knife and everything. It's not going anywhere. I think I'm actually going to be selfish and keep this R and
Yeah.
D one. I mean, overall, I mean, it looks beautiful. It
It looks
just
great. It looks
I
great. I mean,
should have used a little thicker stainless steel, but hey, R and D learning.
yeah,
So
right. R&D, you define the tolerances. So, in order to, so what we were just talking about, like the craftsman's curse, right?
yes,
Um, one of my, I think this is important. There's some craftsmen, we all deal with this. But there are some craftsmen or potential craftsmen that I've seen that they deal with this to an almost to a debilitating level. And I want to encourage, especially like the new craftsmen, is like you guys finish it. If you'll do better to finish it than you will to keep it an infinitely changing project.
guilty,
It's
guilty.
not. Yeah, I was guilty as well. I had, I would tell people I spent like a 3 or 4 year time where I didn't really finish anything. I forged probably 300 swords and knives, and they were forged or half forged. Because all I was really trying to do was just rep a couple things that I wanted to perfect in my forging system. And now, uh, that's what I got out of it. I say like, well, that's the takeaway, because at the time I didn't realize that that's what I was doing, and but it was frustrating, and it wasn't very plot forwarding. Like looking back on it, I would have done better to have finished 10 and taken the
Correct.
lessons. Total problem concept. Look at all of it. Don't just scrutinize the one piece of it. If all of our craftsmanship is done that way, we'll never finish the whole the whole thing. Um, I think repetition practice is very, very important. Stretching a skill is one of the best ways to get it. It's like, okay, just forge the point on a piece of metal. Do it over and over. Do it, 500 times, whatever. Um, that is really important, but it's only helpful insofar as that you go back to building something to completion. And so with the craftsman's curse and some of the craftsmen who are not getting started on anything, or they're not finishing anything, I encourage all of you, accept imperfection. It's not going to be perfect. Even if it was perfect, you still wouldn't be happy with it.
I've learned this over especially getting older. Um, getting the older part. I've been doing this since I was 10 in
Uh-huh.
high school. Back in your younger years, you're cocky little shit, which I was. I was making good stuff, but I've seen some of my stuff come back when I was a kid, and I
Yeah.
used to think I was hot shit. What the
Oh
hell?
man.
But
I
there's still some good pieces, but I'm not now. I'm looking at it, I do so much better work,
I,
and my
they, it's
technique has gotten better.
it is unavoidable. I mean, fresh after Forged and Fire, when I won first time back in 2017, I'd say for the three
That's
years
almost been
after
10
that.
years ago.
Yeah,
Ten
that's
years.
already been in 10 years. Like, and so when I go back and I look at that work, I remember the enthusiasm. I remember being fresh off of the excitement and being determined to just go full speed ahead. Like, okay, I get it now.
Yep.
Finished is more important than perfect. And I look at all that work and I see elements of it that I understood. I understood elements, but I didn't. I can now painfully see the stuff I didn't understand very well. It's almost like a record of the mistakes.
Right.
But having a record and having something that you can look back on and remember and scrutinize is like, you want to know how I know this lesson? It's just like, well, look at my history. As like I've done that before. I have evolved. I have something to evolve from.
Mm.
And you are building you're building your own private library of your understanding. When you complete something, you absorb the lessons, and you can infinitely, at least for the rest of your life, go back and reference it. Even sometimes it depends on what lessons you want to keep. Some people sometimes people are all about keeping the mistakes. Like they make sure they keep the ones that are bent and broken or the failures. Um, and I encourage you to do stuff like that, but don't shame yourself. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the point is you make another one. Like, here's how I know. Good. I remember when I figured this out, and this is why I always do. This is why I always do things a certain way. It's because I learned a really painful lesson or a really valuable lesson over here, and I don't want to forget it, so I kept it.
Right. So how you been doing with this heat we've been having this summer? Oh my goodness.
Awful.
Yes.
As you
I
can see, I
I've
am.
only made two knives this summer,
Oh
and the
yeah.
reason why I be behind that is while one I went to work, I'm working night shift, and two, no, I don't want to. The heat. I'm a fat boy.
uh,
I even when I wasn't. No, I'm done. I'm taking a break.
uh-huh.
I've had a lot of inquiries for knife making classes.
Hmm.
They're on pause. I've been mainly just telling people that I'm booked out to January because
Yeah.
I'm taking a break and I'm loving. I'm on vacation, but I noticed that the reason why I reached out and wanted to come back on is I'm looking at this one little chopper you made. I don't
Hmm.
know if you'll be able to see that one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know the one.
Wow. You know what? When I'm looking at this blade, you know what this blade reminds me of? Have you ever watched Doctor Strange?
You know what? I've
Or see,
uh
maybe seen clips or it's even in what was it?
is
Spider-Man
he
No Way Home. You know when
he's
they
the
do
time
like
traveling or no. Yeah, that's something else. No, yeah. Doctor Strange, do you mean the one with Benedict Cumberbatch? He's the Marvel character?
yeah, the Marvel character
Okay.
Doctor Strange in the movie. It's
Oh, he
got
manipulates physics and all kinds of stuff like that. So it
yeah,
has this very, oh yeah, he
the
does
the mirrored
geometric patterns and
university,
stuff.
and we got
Oh,
a helper.
we got a visitor. What's happening, Sonny boy? Dad, I want to go downstairs. You want me to go downstairs? But Daddy's talking to a friend on my phone. Yeah. Let's
Dad
see
moment.
here.
Hey, that's what it's about.
Dad moments. Yeah, this is reality.
Yep.
Um, this is the reality. It is one of the caveats of having starting a business from home with little kids. Oh boy. Ah, they are growing alongside me.
Hey, and that's time you can't get back, regardless. So I'm jealous because I worked a lot of the years, and there was a couple of years that I was over the road, so I'd miss birthdays and holidays and such when I was flatbedding. So
Well, maybe we have. You know what? Well, let's. We
we
should definitely talk about that
yes.
because I have a if I at this point I know a lot of people know that I do work from home and that I'm around these guys a lot, but I do. Um, we'll put a pin in the conversation because I have some I have some like, if it'll make you feel any better, um, it's not. It's
Not
not a
easy.
perfect situation, and it's
No.
not easy. If anything, I feel like I have to I constantly have to figure a way around them.
To
Than
work around.
to yeah,
Or you could be
it
you could
doesn't
be like me.
guarantee.
You could have been like my dad, and when I got to like take off or anything, he literally tied me to the post. So put a 20 string through my belt loop, hooked it on the hook on the doorway. Hey, I didn't go anywhere, so
Yeah, a friend of mine had said he used to bring his daughter to the movies and tie her to him, and then he'd go to sleep because he was just absolutely exhausted. And she'd watch the movie and kind of crawl all over him and stuff. Um, but we get to do it. But my primary talking point is just that uh, just because I'm around, it doesn't guarantee that they're getting my full quality attention,
yes.
and it is a supreme
And if you see them
emotional.
duct taped to the wall, don't
Yeah,
ask questions. They're safe. They're
yeah,
fed.
there's
They're they're clean.
that's right. Yeah, what I can say, my kids are alive. I care very much about their. They're
Well, good.
alive. They're
Yes.
fed.
I think every parent's been there. It's just like, especially out of our generation, and then
Oh
growing up,
man,
everything else is like, don't come home until the lights come on. And unfortunately, there's
yeah.
a lot of sick individual walking in society.
Mm.
They were
Oh,
still
it turns
sick
out, yeah,
individuals
you
then,
can't
but
just release them into the wild like nothing could possibly happen to them. I mean, they need,
right.
yeah, they need a lot of guidance. I feel guilty very much over, I said the amount of time spent. I spend really more of my time distracting them than I do sitting down and like work. Some people, it's like I want to work from home so I can also homeschool my kids and make sure I play with them and fix them healthy meals and do this impossible list of perfection. Uh,
But
hey,
also give them
we got, hey, look at that. We got a recurring theme here.
yeah.
And
And
I
also
maintain.
giving them that little independence so they can learn from
Yeah.
mistakes, and that's the only way they're going to learn.
Yeah. What I know is I congratulate myself when any one of those things happen. I try to point it out to myself consciously. It's like, look, it happened. At least it happened successfully this time.
Yes.
But I can tell you, it doesn't always happen successfully. It
The
always
potty
they
training years are fun too.
We're going through that with my youngest at the same time my older boy is in football for the first year ever. So what
Nice.
it's it's um I have to be present, but work work suffers because of that. I tell people the level of professionalism that I can truthfully occupy is really very very limited. I mean, I fiercely protect that I am a one man operation craft business. That
Yes.
is like at least until I have a plan for these boys to be occupied in a much larger degree. I cannot handle more business than I can handle.
Well,
Uh,
not only are you the builder, you're the maintenance, you're
I'm
the
the admin. I am.
admin, the social
Oh,
media marketer, the telemarketer, the
yes, that's right.
shipper
Customer service.
service. I gotta order
Fulfillment.
belts. I've gotta get on here and make videos and talk to some weirdo on Behind the Anvil and have
Uh,
fun.
it
So
is, yeah, yeah, it is a long list of things. We wear very many hats, which is why I try to keep a very flexible definition of what everything is supposed to be, what everything is supposed to do. My primary concern uh, is with priority over routine or schedule. Schedule and routine, I witness more often than not as a people get bent out of shape if things don't work out to routine or to schedule. They tense up. It's too slow. Quite frankly, it's too slow. It's too inflexible. I wake up in the day and the first thing I try to orient myself with is what is the thing that has to happen today. What's the most what we here like these are the non-negotiables. My boys got to show up to their appointments on time. If I've made a commitment to somebody, somebody has spent money on me or with me, that should be my priority. And then after all that, not only has to be met with, but that has to be met with in a way that leaves me room to work on the future. Because if I'm not working on the future, future's not going to happen either. So I just say, okay, that's the important stuff. What does the day look like? Where are my opportunities for all of it? And then once a decision's been made, everything is a whole lot easier to do. Not having being unaware of what my priorities are or having not made a decision about what they should be is what gets me into trouble every single time. So if I
Well,
as a stay at home dad with a highly niche, highly unique certification and highly unique system of doing things, that's the key to the whole thing right there. But I really wanted to talk about that knife you
yes.
brought up.
Yes,
I'm
and
happy you looked
like I
that up.
said, but bringing the whole back to the Doctor
Oh
Strange,
yeah,
when they
yeah,
do that
Doctor
mirrored
Strange.
universe and it shatters and the buildings tie into each other. That's when I look at that blade. That's what I see in that movie. It's
Ooh.
like reminds me of that part of the movie where the buildings fold around and it's all and it just kind of I
He, yeah, that they couldn't have been, but there's been some other key references that people brought up when they saw the blade. I thought of Escher, that painter who paints like the impossible
yes,
stairways and stuff.
yeah, okay,
I
yeah, I
thought
see
like yeah,
that.
like that's a really good one. I also thought of um what was it? Those checker flags from like I thought like, hey, that looks like a flag in motion because it's not perfect squares, perfect cubes. It has a bit of motion to it because of the forging. Now, do
So
you do you know that I didn't make that Damascus?
yes, that is not. I knew that it was not your Damascus, and I was going to let you
Huh.
bring that up.
So
Um, let's
Rye
do a shout
Wolf.
out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a shout out to Rye Wolf. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. Rye is a buddy of mine. He is a another competitor from Forge and Fire. I don't remember what episode or season, but he so here's how it all kind of came down. This is the second iteration of this pattern. This is the second knife that I've done with it, and I think it was late last year or early this year that had Raya had suggested to me. He says like, look, he's not a knife builder. He's just like
And
it.
just to clarify, if they want to go see his episode, it is on his Instagram. Fortune Fire finalist season 4, episode 9.
Episode 9. Okay, so he was yeah. We were both from season 4. So at the time all of our episodes were coming out, it's just like oh hey, you got
Oh
a
yeah,
chance to meet
Ryan.
him.
Yeah, okay, I know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I see his picture. Yeah, yeah.
guy's a he's I call him a natural artist.
The stuff he does is like I haven't seen him on Facebook, but Facebook likes not to show you everybody's stuff too. So
Well, what I love talking about whenever I talk to Ryan, why I love talking with him is that he just naturally lets his mind chase the patterns. Yeah, just like wouldn't it be cool to see something like this? Or like what if we tweaked it more like this, and then just free form where could that take us? What would be interesting? And he had suggested I was somebody he contacted when he had said that he didn't want to be a knife maker. And I think that he is a former glass blower, and he got into doing bladesmithing because he loved working with the metal. He just wanted to incorporate skills that he learned doing glass blowing into doing Damascus. So he likes to do very highly innovative and creative Damascus patterns. And he said, I think something I'm building would look awesome with like one of your chef knives. And I said, you got it. So we worked out a deal and did the first one that got a whole bunch of attention, and then we've done the second one, and it's going just fine. It's definitely, I think it's a pattern that was atypical. A lot of there's um, patterns that I see most common within like the mosaic world are. They're very well defined. So it's kind of like once something gets some attention on it, it seems like everybody tries to do that pattern. Like we're all going to do the Gorgon flower. or we're all going to do the explosion pattern or whatever. And I hope that this pattern is something that a lot of people that has caught enough
Oh,
attention
it's caught
that
my
will speak.
attention. I looked at it, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, buddy.
again, there's a movie reference into it, so it's gorgeous. It is very gorgeous. Uh,
Mhm.
Break us down on how you made that knife. How did the steel
Yeah.
come in?
Well, so
I'm gonna reach out to Ryan, get him on here, and
yeah,
we'll tag his stuff in the description as well on
I'd
this
be one.
episode.
I
So
highly recommend it. So uh, the way we worked it out. As I said, now because there's some business challenges to this as well, which I again I love to talk about. Um, you can't just make one enough Damascus to do one knife. That's kind of hard to do. The best if you're going to make it Damascus, the best thing to do is make a billet. You have to make enough of it. So to get to make a pattern that complex takes a fair amount of steel, takes a fair amount of time. And so we agreed that to make for him to make one billet costs about 2,400. One billet is enough to make six wafers of steel, which is enough to build six knives or so, about the size of the one that I built.
that's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
No, that's pretty damn good. We agree. We said, okay, in order to get a wafer that is enough to do the knife that I did, is expect to pay $600. And
That's a damn good. That's a smoking deal. I'd have.
here's oh yeah, tell me more.
I'm gonna say that I would have probably said about 8 to 1,000 on that night, but $600. That's a smoking deal.
Well, the caveat is now that it's known he has enough. Again, that has to be. We can't order. He has to build the whole billet. So
Yeah,
I got with him and me, our arrangement is I got to find a way to have the entire thing made before I can start giving making people knives like from it. So somebody kind of phones in like I'd love to have that knife. It says like, okay, well, either they're fronting me enough money to get the entire billet and then the knife on top of it, or we get a draw going and say like if I get enough people put in, then I can pay Ryan to have the steel
and
made.
that's gonna be a lot of work. I'm definitely gonna quiz him on the work and how long the hours and such.
Mm-hmm.
And he says sounds interesting.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Does
messaging him
he?
right here, right now.
Oh
So,
yeah. It'd be great if he's not busy. He can join us for a little conversation.
I'll ask him real quick. Matter of fact, would you like to join? Go ahead and talk. I'm just talking out loud because I got to spell out every damn
Oh yeah.
word out.
Um. So, I have high hopes both for him and for me. That for one, I love this is a good system for of collaboration. Doing this with him has been a very nice, like, okay, here's how to go about doing it. If I or if anybody else wanted to collaborate with anybody, is first of all make sure that the bottom line is met. We was his Ryan was willing to, he made the pattern. He had a handful, four or five of these wafers to pass around to different people and just say, will you make something? Let's figure it out. And my agreement with him, as I said, he was going to front me the metal. He took the time and the money to build that whole billet. And then I was one of the people that he fronted a wafer. And then I said, okay, I'm going to make. We'll figure out pricing, and then we'll split the cost like right down the middle. Um, and then we'll prospect. We'll see like, well, okay, we built the one. Let's see if it leads to another, and it led to another. With that one, it was okay. I need X amount in order to cover my overhead, but the rest will go to Rhyme. And then it's like, okay, so now we have enough going to cover the first to pay for the wafers that existed, and to um we're a third of the way there to have another bill exist. So we're kind of um we're making sure that we're paying our way as we go, and that we are basing what we are trying to do off of interest. And we're not just, we're going to invest thousands of dollars of our own time, effort, and money and hope it works.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I say it like that. Like, not that I mean, hey, people have done that and they've succeeded. People have done that and they have succeeded. All I'm saying is,
Like that.
if that doesn't succeed, it's typically it's a big setback. It was a kind of a catastrophic failure. And in knife making, we don't like doing that, and so I think we paired this with a business plan, and I think that's how we didn't get ourselves. Well, I mean, I can't speak for Rye, but we didn't. I don't think we overextended ourselves, and that is really important. You know, the further we go, the older we get.
Right.
There has to be some. There has to be a little bit of planning behind the action. There has to be a little bit of strategy, so that we don't, put ourselves out of work, put ourselves out of business, or worse, create bad relations with each other. That was something Ryan and I had a good talk about that right from the beginning. Last place I want to be, especially with a collaboration, is where one person's holding the bag and the other person's holding the money, and one person's pissed at the other, or there's some kind of like, well, I technically don't have to do anything now. It's like, that's not where I want to leave it ever. Good business is that we're both walking away with a surplus, with a some kind of upside. It doesn't always have to be money. It
Why
really does
not?
not always have to be money. Sometimes, it depends on who you're collaborating with. Some people you should be so lucky that you get to collaborate with, and some people you are doing them a favor. It's like, you're like, I like what this person is
I'll
doing.
take that
Let
then.
me see if I can help elevate them up. It completely depends on your position and their position.
He might just jump on here in just a second. Told him, he's like, well, how long will it take? Just give us 10 minutes, jump on in. And
Yeah,
look, there's the man himself we've been talking about. I hope his ears
that's.
ain't burning.
I'm gonna wave until I see from them.
Yeah, and he just joined in. If you could, just when you get a chance, unmute yourself. And he might be camera shy too. I don't blame him.
It's fun when we made the first reel, the IG reel with that first knife, trying to direct him into what to say so I could make the content out of it. Um, it's really weird doing short form commentary. And okay, I need a person to say basically 3 words.
Right.
And
Hey, Ryan, when you get a second, go ahead and unmute yourself there. Hit your microphone down on the bottom of your corner of your phone there.
do, do, do,
The stud
do,
man. Oh,
do. What's the last kind of Damascus pattern you've been messing around with, by the way?
I just been mainly doing cable and
Okay.
doing a little bit of random here and there as well.
You guys hear me?
Um,
Oh,
what's
there he
up?
is.
There he is. There he is. The man of the hour.
Hey.
We've been talking about your Doctor Strange Mirror Universe Damascus that you made for
Oh
that's
yeah.
Turns out a
six
lot
one.
of people are interpreting it a lot of different ways. Yeah, I said Escher, and he's saying Doctor Strange universe.
Yeah, you get the
Um,
mirrored universe and everything kind of the buildings turn to each other. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I was kind of inspired by Picasso, like the cubism and everything like that. So that's kind
Mm.
of where that came from.
Okay, I like it. I really do. It's beautiful, just absolutely.
Thank
You
you.
guys don't know what for those who are listening or such. Check out Nate Summers' page or Ryan. You can find him on Instagram, Ryan Wolf,
Yep.
um, or Nate Summers on Facebook. We'll drop everything in the bottom of the description later on. But I'll let you two discuss about your project, and I'll zip up and listen and learn.
Um, well, so Rye, something I wanted to say, um,
Sure.
is that one of the best things about this project is that Rye helped accelerate me through a learning curve with Mosaic Damascus. Um, I knew a long time ago that I felt like in order for me to do Mosaic very, very well, I wanted to spend the majority of my time perfecting fit and finish. And I wanted to perfect my design like with my knives because I felt like it was something that when I came up with knife making, that was what my emphasis was on. Like my teachers, my mentors, hyper scrutinize fit and finish and design and functionality and stuff like that. So I never really had a chance to, I think, play with Damascus, and and that is something. So I just kept putting on the back burners, like perfect the fit and finish skills. The Damascus will come later, but by the time I was there, it or now as time has gone on, my learning curve. I don't have the time to go play with Damascus. I've started a business, and if I can't find a business reason to justify making it or investing the time, then um, it's a gamble. And so along comes Rye and says, "I've got this." It's like I don't want to make knives. I just want to make these patterns. It's almost like the exact like the mirror opposite of what I was doing. You're just like, yeah, screw all that. I just want to make cool like patterns in steel. It's like, how about we combine what we're doing? It's like I'll give you the steel, you make the knife, and uh, I think that was I was able to showcase what he was doing because I had those skills. And he was able to give me something that I wish I had time to work with, but I don't.
Yeah,
I know that feeling.
100%.
So, Ryan, tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about how you got started with that billet. You said you kind of a Picasso painting kind of gave you the idea for the pattern. I'm going to turn that time over to you and share what you want.
Yeah, so I've always kind of been inspired by Picasso's drawings, his Cubism, father of Cubism, and everything like that. But also, you know, I will go ahead and give credit where credit is due. I was also inspired by Joshua Prince. He he was the first one I saw actually do a pattern like that, and I kind of picked his brain about like the the initial shape to go for in order to make the um in order to make everything line up in cubist form, because it's not just regular squares, it's actually more
It's
rhombus
a
shape or kind of like diamond shape and everything,
yeah.
in order to get them to line up properly. um and once you line those up, you do it in a repeating pattern to where, even if it cuts off, say if you have a square section, even if it cuts off, then you have to, I don't know, say if you have the positive side of a diamond that's at the top or whatever and it's uneven, you got to cut that off, and then you got to flip it over to the bottom where the negative piece is so that it all squares up together. And it's like a whole mess of that stuff, but I kind of figured out my own little formula for it, and how many pieces exactly I need in order to make it work out. So now I'm able to, if I wanted to repeat that pattern again, it's pretty simple to repeat it. But it did take some experimentation. I had to make a set of dies that would, forge out um, evenly and consistently my diamond shapes and everything. And it's been working out pretty well. So, I'm able
Nice.
to attempt that pattern in carbon Damascus. I'm able to attempt it in titanium Damascus. And
Of
eventually I would
course,
like
he's
to
really got to
try
get
and
up there
do
and
it in
level up the
stainless
game
Damascus.
here on the Damascus part,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
badass.
I've done it in titanium Damascus. Now I would like to get it just a little bit cleaner, but I have, kind of messed around and, done some attempts and everything like that. So I've probably attempted it maybe about 4 times in titanium Damascus, and carbon Damascus, probably about the same. So,
So,
yeah.
how do you keep? And me and dad's got some remnants of titanium, and we forged little straight daggers out of it. How do you keep it from burning up? I mean, I guess what is the forge weld temperatures on that, or because
Um,
my brain here is like titanium, you get it so hot, it likes to burn. So,
right. So with titanium, I mean, it's not, some people like to keep it a trade secret. Really, it's not really a huge secret. It's just the knowledge of, I use my knowledge of welding. So I'm self-taught when it comes to titanium, anything titanium related.
Nice.
You have to do it in a purging environment. So, using argon, um, to help purge the material. Some people do it differently. I think I forget his name, but Rad Knives, he does a different process. I'm not sure what his process is. I don't bother to ask him because that's his own separate thing. But what I do is I use argon to canister and purge the material. And you just got to do
Nice.
it carefully to where you don't introduce any oxygen into the atmosphere around the titanium. Otherwise, you will oxidize your material and it won't stick.
Nice.
And in terms of temperature, I don't have any kind of um, you know uh, any thermocouples or anything on my forges. I just do it all by eye and I do it all by feel.
By color and
Same
fill.
way, yeah,
Nice.
color and feel. Same way as I would do glass blowing because I'm a glass blower as well. I've been doing that on and off for 20 years. So I do all of my temperature reading and everything just by eye. Hey, you know what? It's yellowish orange. I feel like it's around this temperature. Just knowing the comfort level of being able to tell that color and that feel, I'm able to kind of judge it a little bit better for myself. And so I just kind of have that trained out to do it.
That's
Um,
badass. That
so that's
that
how I do it.
Of
Even
course, he's got
if I
to
think
get up
that,
there and level up and get up in the titanium Damascus stuff. I'm like, here I'm playing with carbon. I don't like even play with stainless. So,
you know, there's something about worth saying that some people really stress about temperature ranges when forge welding, and I mean, and rightly so. Like every material has its working range.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, but as long as you're within those range and then you learn what it feels like when it's in that range, you can
Exactly.
then do it by feel. Like
Yep.
yeah, it's at the correct,
100%.
when it's at the correct range,
Hmm.
you got to make sure you're aligning correct range with, with feeling and results. But once you do, I very much approve and encourage all craftsmen that once you learn how to do it by feel, you
Hmm.
should do it by feel.
Absolutely.
It's it allows for a little bit more freedom.
um,
Right. 100%.
well, speak on that part. When you're saying that, I tried to make some Kumai Damascus. I've made it the first attempt, got about this much out of it, did all right. Second attempt, did a little bit better. Third
Yeah.
attempt, did really good. I'll tell you what, you want to sweat on that stuff? You got to watch that temperature. I mean, you got to.
uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Don't work it too hot. Don't work it too hard. You get too hot, you get copper liquid. So
I have
far,
an easier time with stainless Damascus than I do with QMI
Hmm.
because it's
oh,
just so. I mean that because the range is just so unforgiving. As soon as that copper is slightly
Hmm.
above, it melts.
Right.
And there it goes.
Yeah. And with your stainlesses and your titanium, like you more so want to concentrate on the soak as opposed to just super high temperatures.
Mm,
Um, Stainless Damascus, you want to soak that for a good amount of time,
yeah,
and you want to do however amount of time you do, like whether it's 20 minutes. I've heard as long as 25, even 30 minutes. Have it soaking at a certain amount of temperature. Give it a press or whatever. Give it a couple presses, and then back in there for another soak. Like that's the same thing with titanium. Titanium, you don't want to like overcook it because if you're doing Damascus and say you're throwing zirconium in there and stuff like that, the zirconium is more of a pure material. So the zirconium is going to want to liquid out as opposed to say the 6AL4V titanium. 6AL4V
mm,
wants to stay a little bit stiffer. And so you got to keep that in mind. Like when you're doing titanium Damascus, you're working at a temperature to where both of them want to glue together. You don't want to work it too hot. You don't want to work it too cold.
yeah,
And that's with any Damascus, but like especially with
yeah,
titanium Damascus or even copper Damascus, it's essentially like a similar process. So
yeah.
I've actually learned just through trial and error, like a lot of trial and error, and I have the boxes to prove it that
don't we all?
that Yeah, that's a fairly lower temperature than carbon Damascus actually forge welds the titanium better than the titanium Damascus, is what I've found.
Nice.
Um,
Mm.
so I mean,
That's very
yeah.
cool.
So I mean, it's a fun process. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And yeah, anybody who gets into it or whatever, just
Uh,
be prepared to spend some money
you know,
because
Um,
you
that's
know
just how it
something.
goes.
I had a question for Rye about some of that. As a
Sure.
matter of fact, I was hoping to talk to you about this. What are the non-negotiables when it comes to your Damascus making setups? Like if you were cause like okay, it's like because I obsess over about calibration. I
Mhm.
want to make sure that I have enough of all the right stuff in order to do anything because it's kind of it's a pet peeve of mine to have. It'd be like I bought a car, but I'm missing one of the tires. Like
Right.
I can't even drive it. I mean, I have 99% of what I need, but if I don't have all four tires, I can't even drive the car. So with
Mhm.
your Damascus making setup, what are your core tools? And like the minimum or maximum, it's just like I won't go any slow any less powerful than this or less capacity than this. Like
Mhm.
what do you think?
So in terms of like you're talking about like machinery tools I use in the
Yeah.
shop or okay, so I mean, I have a pretty simple setup to be honest. I mean, my forging press is a 40-ton press. Now you can use a
Mm.
smaller one. I have done it on I have done it on a coal iron 12-ton.
Okay.
Okay. But I prefer something a little bit stronger just so that you can't really change the strength of a 12 ton
Yeah.
like when you're pressing the compression of the 12 ton, but you can control the compression of a 40 ton.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
so I use my 40-ton press. I use a homemade ribbon burner forge that I made like just real quick when I was first getting into the shop, just kind of like redid
Yeah.
it and everything. Um, and then it's important to have uh, your proper pipes in order to transfer the argon into your canister billets, and
Yeah.
also a lot of cutting discs,
H-
Yeah.
a lot of cutting
Sticking
discs.
on your
Chop
I
saw.
go
argon,
through a lot.
your
Go
Chop
through a
saw and
lot.
cutting
argon.
disc.
How do you
Yeah.
once you purge it? How do you seal that up? I mean, you purge it and then hit it with a welder and fill that up. Just out of curiosity, how do you
Um,
keep?
Depending on the size of the billets, a lot of times I'll just run like two beads across the tops on the corners, and then two beads across the bottom when I'm forming my initial pattern. Now, this isn't for any particular pattern, but say if I'm just I don't know, say if I'm just doing like a random line pattern or something like that, you know. Um, I would run two beads across the top, two beads across the bottom. If it's a really wide pattern, if it's say like 4 inches or 3.5 inches or something like that, I'll just do one bead across the top, one bead across the bottom, and that's with TIG welding. I would throw a lot of
Mm.
argon on there, and then I'd TIG weld it, and
Oh,
the
okay, okay. Now I see what you're
beads would
saying.
the beads would come out like real shiny, silvery, and everything like that, which is what you want. Anything in the purple zone or anything further than that means that you're getting contaminants in it. So you want to keep all your material fairly clean when you're doing stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, and so that's what I rely on. And a lot of times I'll I'll have to make my own canisters depending on the size of the billet that I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm able to be like, okay, I have a 3.5 inch, um, you know, mild steel square or mild steel rectangular canister, and it's already like a really long piece of square
Tube.
tubing. I just
Hmm.
cut that to whatever size that all my individual pieces are, which is usually measured off of my shear. So I put the titanium in my shear and I just shear it all up. And I'll measure the canister based off of that. I'll usually add like a 1/4 inch just so that I can account for any lopsidedness or anything like that that the canister might have when I cut it in the chop saw. And
Hmm.
then after that, I'm usually able to just slide my pieces right in. Now, if I get a nice snug fit, I don't even have to tack weld or anything like that. a fit where everything like literally just squeezes all into the canister and I won't have to do any welding. All I have to do is just make sure that there's argon purging through there evenly. And that's all I have
Hmm.
to worry about.
Okay.
But again, once I get into the wider billets and stuff like that, the more complicated ones, I want to make sure that those are um, titanium welded, fusion welded in all air gaps that I have.
Very
And make
nice.
sure that
Okay.
titanium's making coverage on everything. So that's
Okay.
that's
Well,
personally how I do it. Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking like because I've done canister with meteorite and
Mhm.
1095 and a couple other things I play with. And think, of course, that's my line frame of reference. Like, so do you poke a little hole in it, fill it up, cap it, and then go well? But now you explain that, that
Right.
makes a lot more sense than my own thinking. See what happens when I'm left alone thinking for myself.
And you also want to have a vent hole too. So usually when I'm making my canisters, I make if it's square canister, I'll usually cut out like two square tabs for top and bottom. Now pop a hole in one and pop a hole in the other. So that way I have the argon going through one and then it covers up my material and then it purges out through the other so that you don't create like a little bomb effect.
Ryan, with that method where you're passing argon through, does that affect when you then forging, especially that initial forge where you're getting everything to stick? Do you try to squeeze the whole billet at once, or do you like I thinking about doing it. I thought about like what happens if I squeeze the wrong part of the billet, like the front part of it, and the back part is
Right.
still open to oxygen, and now that there's no more argon passing through because I just forge welded the whole thing.
Right.
What's your first
So
weld look like?
So the first one is I do it based off of the first weld being my tack weld, the
Yeah.
second weld being my fusion weld.
Okay.
So the first weld you want to heat it up and like when you have that argon passing through it, I usually try and do my stuff with squares in mind. I keep that in mind because I have squaring dies and
Yeah.
when you squash it through squaring dies, it pretty much hits it from all directions.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a rectangle, it's only going to hit top sides, top sides.
Right.
And
Right.
so on something that you want to keep square to begin with, I usually rely on my squaring dies, and I do like little pinches. You know, I don't do it all in one go. Like I'll heat it up, and I'll tack it, tack it, tack it, tack it, and then back into the heat. Sometimes I'll do that
Mhm.
once or twice, just so that everything can kind of lightly compress together,
Yeah.
and also your outsides are going to heat up a little more than your insides because the goal of the whole thing is again, you know, you want to revert back to core heat and cycling. So all that core heat matters. If you freeze that outside that's heated up first, then that allows a lot of that core heat to remain in the center.
I
So
gotcha.
once you come off that tack heat and you go straight back into the forge, then that allows the outsides to chill for a moment while the centers develop your core
Yeah.
heat,
Well, this
and then
still
it'll
yeah.
eventually all becomes yeah. So that's where all that cycling comes in, and that what's
Hmm.
it called? I said it earlier. Yeah, like I mean, you want to the goal is to keep that inside just as warm as outside. You don't want to just squeeze it all together in one go. Otherwise,
Uh-huh.
you'll get separation and everything. So
Damn, that's awesome. Here
yeah,
I'm
but I
learning
mean
some stuff
So
today.
but that
everything's
took a
about
lot
little
of
refinements.
you know trial and error though in order for me to figure that out. I mean, it didn't take me too many times, but like just over the course of I mean I don't know however many years it just you know it's just one of those things I had to keep in mind in the back of my head. Like I don't want to rush this forging process. I do work pretty quickly, and Nate does know this. But
Oh yeah.
the thing is that I work quickly because I know exactly what I'm looking at,
Right.
and I know
Right.
I look at my pile of mistakes as an example of uh, and I'm not going to even call them failures. I mean, they're learning experiences. So I look at that
What
pile, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what to do for next time, or
what a
I'm gonna
coincidence you've
tweak a
brought
little
that up.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
We're
was our
just
first topic of conversation when we started.
yes.
Is that you have a collection of
oh
examples
yeah,
about like why you
yeah,
know. Here's how I know,
for sure.
and how much that's such a valuable point about you can work fast because you know what to protect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of brings that phrase up. Fastest move, smoothest fast. Kind of
Yeah.
that's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Ryan, do we still got you for a little bit longer, or are you
Yeah, sure. I'm
okay?
here.
Just let me know when you want to tap out, and you just all you gotta do is just
That's
hit.
all good.
So
Yeah.
I know. So anyway,
It's
I just
great
want to make sure.
that you're able to be here, man. This is
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. It was one of those things. Mike messaged me. He's like, hey, are you able to come on and join me? I'm like, how long will it take? And what's going on? He's like, oh, we're on right now. I'm like, oh, we're on right now. Okay.
hey,
Scott,
For a little
sometimes
it,
it's
bit.
better.
I was like,
Sometimes
a
the
little
best
bit of notice would have been nice, but I
yeah.
was like, you know
well,
what?
we
Let
were
me go ahead
talking
and just
about it.
jump
I was
on.
like, I should. He's online here. Should we just shoot him a message? Boom,
Yeah.
there we
Yeah,
go.
Yeah,
So
let's just
no,
ask.
it's a
Yeah, there we go.
pleasure.
Nate
No
strong
thinking,
armed me
no
Definitely.
into
scares,
it.
like just
So,
talk.
and also, Ryan, this is my 1 year episode. So I've been doing this for 1 year. Started last August,
Wow,
and so I've met my goal. My goal was
that's awesome.
doing a year worth of episodes. Mainly, I started it
Mm,
kind of just help self promote the show and learn new things and share other
mm.
stories. Not only just about knife making, I've dived into stories from veterans and everything else, and a lot of
Cool.
other things we've worked on. So, if you ever get a chance, I'm on. We're going to be on. This goes on Spotify. This goes on Apple. This go. I mean, it goes
Wow,
everywhere you can and YouTube. So, but make sure you
that's
drop
awesome.
before you check out. But make sure you drop your socials and everything where people can find you if they
Absolutely,
want to do a collab. But anyway, um,
100%.
I get rambling here, but yeah, it's been fun. I'm going to plan on keep on doing it. My shop is basically on pause. I went to work, back to driving everything else, and I never thought I'd say it, but I'm on vacation. I'm enjoying myself.
There you
Um,
go.
I made 2 knives in the last month, and I'm loving it. Wait, it's been
Nice.
murderously hot out here, and the last couple months we've had nothing but fires. Nate, I'm sure you've had your
Wow.
share of forest fires up
Whole
your
place
way.
is up in smoke. Everything in
Oh,
Utah and everything
That's a
in the
good movie,
Rockies
by
right
the
now is
way.
on
Up in
fire.
Smoke, Cheating Chong. So sorry.
wow.
There is
I couldn't
literally
imagine. I
layers of
mean,
ash all the way around where we're at.
wow.
Right?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm in Florida, so I mean, it's more so humid here than it is dry. But still, like, I mean, whatever it is outside, it's at least like 10 degrees, maybe 15 degrees hotter in my shop. It gets pretty hot, not gonna lie. And there's some
have
days where I'm just like, I take a deep breath. I'm like, okay, I can't do this today. It's just,
have
oh
you
man,
noticed
like that heat
any
really
with
does hit
speaking
you.
of humidity, have you had
Yeah.
any issues that affecting your work when you're forging? I mean the higher humidity. I'm just
Um,
curious.
Not offhand, not that I can tell really from, I guess, like a microscopic level or anything like that. I mean, I haven't been able to tell a difference.
Other than, oh my God, what am I doing out here stuck? Because when I did Forge and Fire, we were outside. It was 106, 92% humidity, and no air moving. And I'm from the desert,
Right. Hmm.
fat boy from the desert. We don't do humidity. I struggled. You don't
I
sweat. You
hear
don't
it.
evaporate. You don't, yeah, during that
Oh
time.
well, I definitely sweat out here. That's for sure. I'll probably go through like two shirts when I'm working.
I'll bet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
It's the humidity that kills it. So, but yeah.
so and Nate was kind of talking about it. You started from glass blowing, and I guess what attracted you to the steel part? More of a challenge to get through this, or what got you really
Um,
into your form of Damascus with the titanium and stainless and others?
so I've always been like interested in, say, like the knife making process, just in general. And what happened was I had an opportunity when I was in college to do an independent study, and my independent study was based on, basically mixing glass with steel, or making tools for my glass work. So I ended up, building my own forge outside of the sculpture studio, which you could hear all the way across campus, which is hilarious at the time. So I ended up forging, some of my own glass tools that I used on my glasswork. And from there, it came to like, instead of just forging some of them, I'm like, I wonder if anybody's ever done pattern tools, for glass blowing. So I've even made, Damascus jacks, which jacks are usually your main tool that you use in order to open up your vase, in order to seal off your bubble and make that neckline that creates a separation and everything. It has a flat part. Actually, I do have a pair that I could show you.
All
Um,
right. Show and
now
tell.
these aren't the first ones I made, but they're probably the only ones in the world ever made like this. And I have a couple pairs of them. So I can briefly go into that. I'm not going to waste too much of your time, but
No,
I can at least
you're
kind of
good,
show you
bro.
this. Um, and I still have pieces around the house that I've made from like 15 years ago, like just hanging out here. So,
And those who
but
are listening to this on the other platforms you can't watch right now, you can go to the YouTube American Bladesmith channel and check out this episode. So sorry I had to plug that in.
all good. Um, so these are jacks. I made these ones right here. And
Nice.
so what this is used for is um, this is a piece I made about 15 years ago.
Oh wow. And that's
Cool.
So you
all
can,
glass.
Oh
yeah,
man.
that's glass. So you can kind of see where, my twisted patterns and all that kind of stuff is kind of inspirational
Oh.
towards
That's great.
going into my glass work. So when you start out with glass, you start out as a small bubble and you do what's called gathering. You develop your small bubble and then you let it cool, kind of like you would with steel. And say Damascus, for example, if you're concentrating on your steel, you would let it cool down and you would restack it. So that's essentially what you would do with glass. You start off
Mm.
small and then you gather more glass, you let it cool, you gather more glass till you get to your desired amount, you blow your piece out. So you actually end up working backwards when you're blowing glass. This is on the 4.5 foot pipe end, and this is being held stable and continuously turned while you're inside of the furnace, or what's called a glory hole reheating chamber. So as you're continuously turning this, because if you stop for a second, gravity will allow it to sag because, I mean, the glass is 2100 degrees when you're working it. You're blowing this up, you're kind of massaging it in certain places in order to get it to where you want. After after this is broken off, usually these jacks right here make the constriction in order to break it off of that blowpipe. This piece is
Okay.
then flipped
Okay.
around, and then the jacks are used to go in and open up this piece, constrict your line, and also clean your walls up.
Okay.
So this is the most versatile tool in glass blowing.
So
So
kind of something like out of the movie Ghost, where Patrick Swayze comes around and with the clay and such.
No,
Hey,
no, no,
hey,
yeah,
Ryan,
this
have you ever had that experience? You ever felt like Patrick Swayze comes around and holds you and as you're doing your work? I'm sorry, get out. I'm gonna get out. I'll shut
I
myself
tr-
out.
I try to avoid that from happening because that would be heavily distracting. But
Um,
so anyways, what's cool about these is that these are meteorite. So you see
oh,
the
very
the
cool.
you see the meteorite pattern. Well, I don't know if you can really see it, but
It's very I can yeah, okay.
so there's meteorite pattern on the outside, and this is meteorite that I forged down. What I did was I did what's called a clad. So it's not your typical Damascus. And I'm just explaining this in general to people who aren't familiar with cladding. So with this particular technique, this was a solid chunk of meteorite that I cut, and it was clad to a piece of either spring steel or 15 and 20 in order to allow for the flexibility on the inside of it. So in order to get that flexibility, the meteorite itself doesn't really hold that flexibility. It's too soft.
Mm.
It's mostly iron and about 8% nickel, 8 or 9% nickel for this particular meteorite. So when you're doing all this squeezing and flexing, it's not going to return like that. So what I had to do was I had to come up with a plan to allow for that springiness. So what I did was the cladding, so that the 15 and 20 is on the inside of this. So it's nice and dark on the inside, and I left it like that on purpose. I didn't want to polish it up or anything like that because I like the whole idea about the black against the pattern showing. So I did that, and then my blades are meteorite Damascus,
Very cool.
Those are
and
awesome.
You
that's
know,
never been done before. And I made this about 6 years ago.
Makes me
Um,
think of those in archery, those bows and arrows that are made from what is it? Like cypress and buffalo hide or
mhm.
something.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
something
a
like that.
composite.
Yeah.
Uh
Um, I had when you're holding up your vase there, I had a thought.
Okay.
Have you ever done glass and patterns for knife scales? Or is that even possible?
I've had
I've seen
people
some
ask me to
people.
do them. The thing is that the particular glass I work with is soft glass. So the better option for that would be what's called borosilicate. Borosilicate um, has kind of like a higher uh,
Tensile?
what's it called? It's got more lead in it, in order to allow for kind of like the stiffness in it. The I can't think of the name of it, but a
And those are
better yeah, a better type of glass would be borosilicate as opposed to soft glass. The soft glass is usually, if you want to doing vases and if you're doing like open bowls, sculptures and stuff like that, that's what you would want to use for the soft glass. But borosilicate, is what they use for I guess like bone pipes, stuff like that. The
Yeah, you
stuff
think
that
that
if
might
you
be
if you drop it, it won't break
it's
as often.
stronger, maybe like more like shock resistant for like heat and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and it takes a higher temperature too. So
Okay.
also those who don't know about where glass comes from. You melt silk. There's different brands of silicon sand that they melt down to produce glass. So
yeah, silica. So it's like silica sand, bone ash, and lime, and those are usually your main ingredients for. And it can come in different forms and come in kind of like a batch form, which is kind of like looks almost like snow, like little chunks of snow.
Hmm.
It comes in that form, or it can come in cullet. And cullet is basically just crushed up glass. It can be in cube form. It can be in like little cookies or whatever. And they
ooh,
usually
somebody
like
said
come in like
cookies.
large bags. Yeah.
Man, this I knew this episode was gonna be killer, but I didn't realize how well. Wow, that vase is
So
beautiful,
yeah,
by the way.
you're getting the taste of both glass and
I like it.
Damascus, right?
Uh,
I like
yeah,
it.
it's the
So
best.
well, let's bring it back to your guys' collaboration here.
Sure.
Nate was talking about um, in order to do this. I mean, that's a lot of work for to make that billet to bring that billet and
Yeah.
such and get it started. Um, and then Nate was also cautioning people, hey, if somebody sees that they want that, we got to. You can't just make a simple sliver of that particular billet. Can you explain why?
Right. So, when you're making a mosaic built like that, you have to account for like at least 50%, maybe even 60% steel loss. Um, so I usually start out with maybe, I don't know, close to like 10 or 15 pounds worth of steel. And it's all forged and manufactured in my shop by myself to my specifications, in terms of like the starting patterns for those cubes. And then once I start cutting and cleaning and bundling them up and everything like that, then you're gonna really start to see your reduction because
Yeah.
it happens fast. Even off the first restack, you'll see it, like you'll be like, man, how did I go from like this much to like this much steel? And
Yeah.
it's just like it was like poof in the air, like, or just you could see all the scale on the ground, or from when you're cutting it and everything like that, and then you're cleaning up the ends. It's crazy how much loss you see,
There's a
like just
huge
off the
much, yeah,
first stacking.
distortion. You lose a lot of pattern to distortion as well. It's another reason I
Yeah.
was trying to explain to people that you have to start with enough steel that you can maintain consistency in the pattern. If you don't start with enough steel, all you'll have is distortion. In the end, it'll be stretched
100%.
and mixed too much, and you won't have enough. So,
Right.
if you have to start with enough, you got to justify the price. I
Exactly.
got some
How
visitors.
many
Hold on a
hours do
second.
you have in such one in that belt from start
I'm
to
gonna be right
finish?
back, you guys.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay, no problem.
Dad moment. He's got dad moment duty.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, I kind of do too, but they're playing Roblox and hanging out, so I'm good on
Okay. Well, I think
that.
his boys are still a little bit young. So, how many hours from start to finish do you have in that build? When you guys talking about that, it just kind
it's
of clicked my head.
it's one of those things that's hard to keep track of because I don't hit a timer for the day and say like, hey, you know what, I'm going to um, you know, like from the very start selecting my steel, boom, I'm gonna hit the timer, and then like all the way until I'm doing the last etch and I wipe it off and everything, I hit the timer again. So it's nothing like that. I usually over the course of my day, especially with the kids going back to school and everything, I usually kind of break up my day into just little sections. Like, hey, you know what? I might have 3 hours to knock something out. So what I'll do is I'll clean my steel up and then let me get my first forge welds done within that first 3 hours. And then the next day might be another 3 hours, and I'll be like, okay, let me get my first stack done after I clean my billet up, and then I'll cut some slices off of it, clean it up, etch it, see what it looks like, and then we'll continue the next day because that the time goes by so fast. When I'm especially when I'm working by myself, I mean, I kind of get in the zone, and a lot of times I've lost track of time just because I'm just so focused on my goal, which is to get that one forge weld or that second forge weld done all in that one day. But like in terms of like being like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna like time it down to the minute. I don't
Mhm.
even do that. I just go by how many hours I have to work.
Yeah.
If I
So
have 4 hours
ballpark,
to work it,
maybe
then I'll do
25,
4 hours
30,
to
yeah,
work it.
maybe about.
Yeah, so specifically in that billet with Nate and I, that was probably more like a 30 or 35 hour billet.
Damn, that's cool. That's a
You got
lot
to
of
make
Yeah,
work.
that
because
cost
A
up.
lot of sweat work. How many
it
pounds
was
do
a
you lose
lot
when
of
you do
sweat.
that? Maybe I'll have to start doing some more like that. I guess we'll lose some
Um,
weight here.
so so again, that billet started out probably around like I want to say close to 12 to 15 pounds maybe, and then once it's all forged and reduced down to about where I liked it, it was like kind of like a brick size. I mean, I'm not sure how to really
Rough
compare
estimates.
compare it to anything, but like it was
That's what she
say.
said.
It was say, I mean, it wasn't this size. It was maybe like, something along these lines, and then like kind of like stop like right here. It
hmm
was about, it was close to that size, and I cut two slices off for Nate. I think I cut just one regular slice off, and then the last one I sent them, I kind of drew it out a little bit. And I did have a brick of it left that I did post, and then I didn't get any bites on it. So what I did was I turned it into like a wakizashi. And I mean,
That's right.
that
I
pattern,
got it.
yeah, stretched out pretty good. I was like, at the time, I was just like, nobody took any bites on it. And I had it up there for like 3 or 4 weeks. And I was like, all right, well, nobody wants it. So I ended up doing something with it. But,
Well,
but yeah,
I
I
have
mean,
some good news for you though, Rye. I think
sure.
I'll be looking to commission an entire billet from you.
Sounds good.
So maybe you and me should talk after we're done with the
Definitely. Yeah.
we're done with this.
Okay.
No, it said like it is the reality and like it's the tricky part of the market. It's like you got to get a lot of things lined up just right in
Right.
order to make make the magic happen. Is like compared to if we look at the market, like the amount of like people out there who are willing to pay 50 bucks, couple $100 for a custom thing. There's a sizable amount of them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get the size of the market that is willing to pay 2K, 3K, 4K for a high end custom, by comparison, is a fraction. It's
Yes.
a
Mm-hmm.
small, it's a
100%.
small piece of the market. Now, that doesn't mean they're not there. It doesn't mean they're
Mm-hmm.
not there. It just means that the standards are very high.
Right.
The standards are very, very high, and uh, it takes uh, it's hard to find them. It has to
Right.
be where we have to lean onto. Um, I tell people sometimes it's more about all the surrounding things than the knife itself. Sometimes it's about the presentation, it's about the timing.
Mm-hmm.
It is about going through the right network. Some people make just as good, if not superior, product to another maker who is simply more well known. Uh,
Right.
I'm I am fortunate in that regard. I've cultivated a good audience. I'm a good network to go through
Mm-hmm.
for people trying to get their stuff seen. And um, I said it's not impossible to do. It's just it's a lot to be accounted for.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
the only mistake I'm certain of is to not account for it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only thing
100%.
I said. Like account for all of it, and there's always a way. There's always a way to. Um, there's always a strategy to work to adhere to make sure that everybody is together, and
Mm-hmm.
that the fine, like in all collaboration and in all good business, that both people are walking away better for it.
Yes.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah.
just where off the wall question: does anybody else get hungry when Nate sits there chopping up stuff with showing stuff off while he's got his engineers in there?
I think that stuff is pretty cool, man. Like being able to showcase your knife and how it's just like, yeah, it just glides through like a laser, and it's just like, man, I'm like, that is just
And
crazy when he does that,
I mean,
man.
and it's
It's awesome.
actually, I'm sitting there watching those videos, like, all right, and then usually they pop up around dinner time, which is a good thing. And I'm like,
Yeah, I know, right?
all right, I gotta go make food because now I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get some bell peppers, some
Exactly.
onions.
I never get sick of it. I will never ever get sick. Okay, in making knives, some of the stuff I get very excited about sharing with people is the usability of it. I mean, it blew my mind the first time that I was able to carve something with an actually sharp knife, because then it gave control. It was a thrill. Instead of being a kid and pretending, it's like, here's like the real thing. This is what the real thing feels. It's just like, oh my gosh, like this is so much better. And I had the same experience with chef knives. And as a young kid, getting to go hiking and camping, stuff like that, and bushcrafting, all that kind of stuff. It's like it's a little bit different when I'm married and I have children. I don't get to do that so much, but I do get to cook every single day.
Right.
So it's kind of the same way that like glass blowing led right to Damascus making.
Hmm.
Um, I had to pick something where, okay, there is in studying design, I learned to make knives. Like, I can't just make a chef knife and call it a chef knife because it's sharp. It's like I want to know why. I want to know how a chef knife has to work, and so I study the chefs. There's so much information available online. There's so many good chefs, and they talk about their technique. They demonstrate it, because everything that makes the chef knife work is in those subtle little details. So there's and a tomatoes, one example. It turns out there's dozens of like good examples, but it's been one of the best ways. Is that we're in the age of AI, right? Everybody has AI.
Oh
Everybody,
100%.
boy,
like
we're gonna get
it's that.
comments now because I did an
Yeah.
episode here recently with my friend Brad,
I
and
hope, yeah.
all the comments were comedy gold. But anyway, so I had to throw that in there. But go ahead, Nate. Sorry, I didn't mean to
um,
interrupt you, bud.
no. We're in the age of AI where everything is fake. At least that's the perception of like online stuff. And it turns out something as mundane and pedestrian as cutting an onion turns out to be such a healthy anchor for so many
Mm,
people. Just like, okay, I'm actually hungry by watching that. It's not just interesting to see, it's connected to something real.
yes.
Right.
And that is, I couldn't be more proud of just a little. Let me just share this with you. Look at how much easier this one thing in my life is. It's like I can cut a piece of garlic or I can cut an onion, and it's enjoyable instead
Mhm.
of being a pain in the ass.
Nate,
And it's even more enjoyable with a piece of Cubist Damascus.
Yeah.
yes.
Ah,
It looks like you're watching, it's like the mirror of the
ambience, man.
universe. Um,
Ambience is like it's like a lasagna. You just stack on layers to it. It's like I got
and that
what
feeling never
else?
gets old. I mean, I made I'm not, I made a few. I probably made a couple dozen chef knives so far, and I'm
Uh,
improving on my skill. And I've got input from customers, but it's not. I come in, I'll play with it. I'll come in. It's the same feeling. I don't care how many times I do it. I'm gonna go through a tomato. It's like, oh, go through that onion, and you just get
yeah.
that. And it's a lot. And I think it's a lot more connected to me because I made that from raw material,
Oh
Yep,
man.
turned it to where it is,
for
ground
sure.
it, heat treat it without no problems, and then I'm
Uh,
able to go through that thing.
Yep.
Now I make mine. A lot of people like to make their spine really super thin. There's chefs out there that I've made a couple for that wanted them
yeah.
super thin, really super thin back edge, and of course that scares the hell out of me, especially when it comes to heat treating because I'll grind and heat treat because for me, I've never been able to heat treat and then go grind without ruining it. So
Yeah.
I do it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I've also had one lady who was a culinary chef. They moved out here. She got away from it, and she was doing her own stuff. And I had this one on the table. It's probably like my sixth or seventh one picked up. She picked that up and she starts doing her thing. And I've noticed the way she was handling it. I knew she
Mm.
was, she's professionally trained on that. And
Yeah.
she's like, "How much? I've got to have this. This is actually a damn chef knife that's got some weight to it, so I don't have to work. I've got my wrists are getting sore in age." And she bought it just like that, just a little bit by just. She said the thing what sold it on it was the weight of it, the weight of the blade. She felt like she could just
Yeah.
put it on there and effortlessly. And again, she's been doing cooking for 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
So the risk get after, I'm like, even of us, our risk.
There's no there is all what I'm certain of is no one design is appropriate for everybody. There's all kinds of reasons. There's all kinds of reasons people would prefer one design over the other that have nothing to do with that will just have to do with taste and preference. If you
Mhm.
have a heavier blade or forward weight on the blade and the spine is heavier, well, once you get that knife going, then the weight's gonna carry it. It's just the
Mhm.
feeling. It's like the weight's taking care of it. And I don't have to muscle as much. Even if a light knife is very sharp, you have to change your technique because all of the leverage has to come from you. The knife, like you can
Yep.
rest
You have to
perfect.
put more into it in order to make that
Yeah,
slice, as opposed to like
and
just
that
having
and
the
that
knife
razor
just make the
sharp
slice
is
itself. Yeah, it's
no
a
knife,
balance.
no matter how sharp or what it's made from. No razor sharp knife is going to last forever, and you might end up having to do a lot of leverage and a lot of work with a
Mhm.
knife that just feels flimsy.
Yep.
It's there is plugging the right tool into the right time with the right hand is the name of
Yep.
the game. And
And
yeah.
I like that, what you just said. Sorry, I meant when I interrupt you.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
build off of that.
Okay.
That's kind of like the saying, the right tool for the job. Um,
Mm.
the right steel for the right kind of Damascus, the
Oh
right
yeah.
high carb. I get people picking up steel and out that, oh, what do you think of this? And like, this should make a really good knife. And I'm like, no, that's scrap. Take it to the
Mhm.
scrap yard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, can't you make knives out
Yeah,
of
I
it?
hear it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It looks more like
Yeah.
mostly mild steel.
Can and should are different things. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And
Exactly. Yeah.
now if it's
How
like,
you guys feel about like the when you guys talk about like how you feel when you first see that knife come out and you're able to use it and everything, that's how I feel like when I do my Damascus. Sometimes
Mm,
sometimes on purpose, I like to change something up just so I can see what the difference is. And as soon as I etch it, I'm like, wow, I'm
yeah,
like a little kid in a candy shop when I see candy. I want that wow factor every single time I see my pattern. That's
yeah,
a lot of times I don't repeat a lot of my stuff. And I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people do like, their bird's eye, their raindrop and their ladder pattern. That's stuff that's been done for like a really long time. But
yeah,
how often do you see a cubist mosaic billet that's all 100%
yeah,
forge welded together to where if you wanted to, you could flex it a little bit and all that kind of stuff. But it's
yeah.
ground into a knife, nice and even. There's like no issues with it or anything like that. How often do you see that 100% put
Oh,
together to the point where you're just like, oh yeah, that's been done before? No, I mean that's that type of stuff. I'm not gonna say it's never been done before, but how often do you see it? And
at least it's yeah.
so I've been
Ryan,
working on
I have
patterns
to
and
add,
yeah,
man, I gotta add to what you're saying about as an artist being free to chase an idea. I think
exactly.
I know I'm working on something good when
Hmm.
as I'm working on it, I'm actually having new ideas. As much as I am thrilled as the kid in the candy store moment, um, I know I'm especially there when not only am I wowed by what I see, but I'm wowed at what the possibilities it could lead to. It's
Right,
like
exactly.
not only with the cubist pattern, it's like I bet you as you saw it, it unlocked like I could do this
Oh
with
yeah.
it, I could do that with
Yep.
it, I could do this.
Yeah.
You
And
already have
you have the
the
pictures
next
in the
idea.
catalog that show what my mind was going through as well. So
Yeah,
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 it's the next step. It's the evolution, and
yeah.
those cubes were the building block for it. So
I think that is a really important. I think that's an important thing to because I try to a conversation, big conversation these days is about what do artists need? What do you need in order
mhm.
to do what it is that you're doing? And that leads to sometimes it's not just equipment. It's not necessarily time and space. It's like uh, there is a workflow, there is a mood to it about being able to being able to recreate that moment. It's like where do I
Right,
have enough space where I can be excited about something or play with it? It's like
right.
I think that is frustrating for people who are trying to do business with a
Mhm.
creative enterprise is that like well some of the stuff you really can't force. I mean like either you like it or you don't.
Right,
If you don't
absolutely.
like it, it's kind of hard to have enthusiasm for it. It's just like, well, this is
Mhm.
just, like this is disappointing. If I
Right,
had the freedom, I would stop here and start again until I did like what I'm doing.
right.
Um, so so it is it's good to hear that you have a similar reaction to your own work when when you like it, it gives you
Mhm.
ideas.
Exactly.
That's how
Yep.
you know it's good. That like
Yeah.
there you go. That's how we know it's good. If I like it, it's a train of thought. There's more there than just the thing
Mhm.
I'm working on.
And
And it all starts from having that basic idea, like just to kind of build off of. You can't just go from A to Z without going to A, B, C, D. Yeah, yeah, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like it
yeah,
helps to have like the knowledge of the
yeah.
basics. And that's
That's
and a
actually
lot
yeah,
of people they just want to move fast these days as opposed to like spending time on,
oh
like say for example, like in glass blowing, I
yeah,
spent a lot of time. I spent like a year or two just working in clear because in clear you can see everything. You can see your scratches. You can see where you accidentally jabbed into the glass.
yeah.
You can see the little metal speck that went on there and everything like that. Once you
Real
start putting
expertise.
color into straight, yeah. Once you
Real
start putting all that stuff
expertise
into it,
comes from
you
the
can't.
labor. It comes from
Exactly.
the
That's all
labor.
it is.
Yeah, that uh yeah, the part I think the age we're on, the information age. is people encountering that we have access to all the information, but it still doesn't make you an expert.
Right.
It's like
You have
you
to
still
actually do it. Yeah.
you have to go back and do things long form.
Yeah.
I think the exciting thing about that is that the more that's going to be understood, the more we're going to start seeing new levels of expertise from people. The people are like, no,
Absolutely.
I don't mind doing long form in order to get good at this,
Mhm.
and pair that with information age and with technology and tools, and we see incredible innovation.
Yeah.
And there's all this
100%.
stuff. What we got the chance to make, I think, is incredible innovation. I think is a
Right.
great is like I've wanted to do that project for 7 years, but I kept
Mhm.
saying no. It's like no. I'm not. I wasn't ready to do it.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
where
You're
I'm at.
welcome.
And to build off what you guys are saying here, um, I've been doing the regular Damascus. I switched to cable. I used to do random 600 layer out of O1 and 836 mile steel stuff I picked up from Dad. Dad got that from Bill Moran when he took
Mm.
his school when he first started making steel back in the early 80s.
Ooh,
I was
Oh,
like
legacy
that's cool.
1 year
steel.
old when he took that class, 1 month old when he took that class. So, um,
That's
but
cool.
that's what I kind of been doing. Has been doing the same, and I've been doing cable Damascus. And somebody went one time, well, I support man's Damascus. Like, well, if you've seen really good cable, cable is to get cable really perfectly. It takes a little bit too, but I've been doing that just to get where I am. I was doing good. I was enjoying it, but I've got to the point now. Like I said, I mean, we were talking earlier. I can do that shit in my sleep. Pardon my French. I can do
Mm.
that in my sleep. Now I'm going back to work. I'm getting more excited to go back in the shop when it gets cool off because now I want to start playing with mosaics. I've been watching, well, the
Mm.
stuff you guys have been making.
Mm.
Claudio Sobral out of South America. Have you guys seen his stuff?
Yeah,
Oh,
he actually just started doing mosaic not too long ago too, and
yeah.
like he's just knocking it out of the park. Like man,
And I
I
look at
mean,
that and I
because I
says,
remember he was doing like Damascus and just like implementing the gold in there and all that, and man, his stuff was already great. But once he started like learning mosaic and doing all that stuff, it's like it just took it like a few notches higher, and so he's really killing it with his stuff, and yeah, it's very
now that
enjoyable.
I am not depending on just making the bread and butter knives, as I called it, to pay the
Mm.
bills to
Mhm.
bench forward, where I'm working now, and I come down. I'm down to 2 days off a week, or I work it. I'm not. I'm still trying to figure out the balance on night shift. Have worked nights in over 10 years. So
Mhm.
it's been not that difficult for me to do. But now I'm getting excited. It's like, oh, I can spend a day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take. I was like, because I really like playing with cable.
Yeah.
And I really like mixing it with 15 and 20. And I got some meteorite left, so I'm going to do some stuff with that. I've got some
Nice.
ideas on what I want to do. And now, where I got the other job paying the bills, I have that freedom again to be more creative. I'm going to go back, I'm going to play around with more making folders. I'm going to get some stuff later on to do the liner locks. There's some ideas I want to do. There's a piece of equipment I want, but that's out of ways out of the way. A water jet, that's like 10 grand for the one I want, but that's a goal. But
Mm.
what I am getting excited
Yeah.
again to go back into it. Now I have the freedom of not trying to make that daily hustle to make everything good, take care of the house, bills, kids, etc. I
You
have
time
that
and
other job to do
space.
that. Now
You
I
have
can,
made time and space for yourself.
yes, and that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I have a couple ideas of what I'm going to play with, but I don't. I can sit and watch videos and everything else. I get ideas. I get ideas, but I don't know until I'm out there working with it,
Uh,
trying that out. That like with the Kuma.
I know that feeling.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man. Put your phone down, plug it in, so preferably inside the house. Unless I mean, put on music like whatever, but let the inspiration come from the shop.
Yes. I usually
Be
put
right
on the
back.
podcast. I usually listen to Joe Rogan. I don't listen to myself because I really don't like the sound of my own voice. But I listen to Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, and a few others. Fat Electrician. I listen to his stuff. A few other guys down sub podcasts. I'm doing the shout out because one of these days I hope to be on their show. So,
There
but
you go. Yeah, I just listen to the radio at times, and when I don't listen to the radio, I just listen to the sounds in my shop, like the machinery and stuff like that. It's like, man, I sold some I sold stuff in order to put money into these machines. I made my forge. I have this press that's working. So I know this is a little screechy over here. I know this might be a little loud. I know this is a little calmer, but while I listen to those sounds of the machines working, it's almost like it goes hand in hand. It's like I'm working and the machines are also working for me. So a lot of times I'll just mute everything out. I won't play any music or anything like that. I'll just hone in, I'll just focus, and then the sound of the machines actually doing the work and forming the the master class pattern, this masterpiece that I'm forming and everything, all to come down to this billet, and I hold it up and I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm just like, not only did I create this, but the machines that I put all of my hard work and money into made this as well. So it's like I gotta give my hats off and my flowers to my machines for helping me do the hard work that I don't have to do with my hands
one that's like
anymore.
being one
And
with
so
nature.
that's how I look at it. Yeah,
Being one
well,
with
yeah, it's almost
nature.
like one with nature. It's like one with the shop, you know what I'm saying? Like almost like what was it, the whole Mickey Mouse thing or whatever, when he
Oh
conducts and
boy,
has the, yeah, there you go, like, and he has like the brooms and the mops and everything like sweeping in the house. That's how I feel exactly
Fantasia.
with yeah, Fantasia. That's exactly how I feel when
God,
I'm
I
in the
haven't
shop
watched that
working.
forever.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it in forever either, but that's kind of like one of those moments, like in the back of my mind. That's kind of like, that scene is what's playing in the back of my mind as I'm working. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
it.
So I feel like I'm Mickey Mouse in that scene conducting everything. So it's fun.
Um, I think
Um,
we're gonna get clip when Nate gets back here. I think we're gonna kind of wrap it up because I do have another interview coming up in a couple hours. I'm gonna grab some
mhm.
lunch, but we'll start
Cool.
with you, Ryan. Um, for people who are listening out here that are like just awestruck on this stuff, or even in glass blowing, what some advice
Mhm.
can you dole out for the folks out there to get into either glass blowing or follow in the footsteps of Rye on his stuff, or just general? And give your words of wisdom there, and then we'll circle back to Nate.
Sure. I mean, there's no like real plan out there. You know what I'm saying? If you have the heart to do something and you have the inspiration and you have the idea in your head that you want to progress with it, then just go ahead and do it. I don't specifically my story of like a blacksmith or bladesmith or anything like that. Whenever people ask me what my profession is, I tell them straight up, and I told people a million times, I am a three-dimensional artist and welder. I weld as a profession in the field. I don't do it so much anymore, but three-dimensional artist, and that pretty much covers a lot of things. It covers glass blowing, it covers forging knives, it covers welding, it covers carving and sculpting and all that kind of stuff. So that being underneath that umbrella, I'm able to broaden my range of what I do, and I'm only able to do that by experimenting with it. All I can do is try it. If I don't like what I do, then I'll move on to the next one. If I don't like carving, I'll move on to a little bit of sculpting with steel or anything like that. If I don't like sculpting, then I'll move on to glass blowing. If I don't like glass blowing, I'll move on to forging. It's a bunch of tools in the bag. So you got to be able to get out there and experience things, because you never know what you're going to end up doing for a living, or how you're going to contribute to your community and get other kids inspired. And I think that's the most important thing, is to um, look at the people who came before you and see how you can evolve from that. Not so much copy what they're doing, but take inspiration from what they're doing and apply it to your own work. Joshua Prince, like I said, with his mosaics and everything like that, I was heavily inspired by a lot of his stuff, and that was just over like the past couple years. I didn't know who he was, as of a couple years ago. But when I start looking at his work, and I'm like, oh man, that stuff is just, oof, like it's just mind blowing.
Up
And
your
then when
alley.
you look,
Yeah.
and then when you look at the basics of it, the fact that it's like puzzle piecing, Legos, mosaic work that I would do in my glasswork, I'm like, oh man, I can do that. Like that's right up my alley. That's what I like to do, that finicky type of work. Once I realized that, I started honing in on it like, hey, how can I take what he did and how can I evolve from what he did instead of just being like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to do the same pattern as what he did and go from there. Um, I mean, it's not so much of a copyright thing. It's just, just trying to take it to the next level for yourself. So that's kind of what I have for information for people like coming up. Make sure
So
you
you're kind of
stay
like don't keep
inspired.
your so you're kind of maker of don't keep your eggs in all one basket. Spread them around.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
like that.
make sure you spread them around because you never know. You never know when, life's going to circle back to that one egg that you put off to the side 2 or 3 years ago. And you'd be like, hey, yeah, I still have that skill set. Would you like me to revisit that? Or like, I'm going to revisit it for myself just because I haven't done that in a while.
Mm.
And so like it helps to be able to circle around stuff like you just
Uh,
said. So
I like
that's
that.
very important.
Nate, we're
Yeah.
going to kind of wrap things up. I see you're in the kitchen. He's got an idea here. So go ahead,
Sure.
Nate. Show us what you got in mind, and then or where's the wisdom part?
Oh yeah, this. I'm in the kitchen because my 4-year-old wants me downstairs. Uh,
Oh, I thought we are going to get shown something to cut up here. Where I'm going to get hungry and go make you dinner.
I know, right?
oh, I got knives on the. So it's about a collection of history here. Okay, I might as well show
Yeah,
you.
show us your collection of history, and then we'll do our words of amendment, and then we'll walk out.
So these knives here, that I have on the rack are all knives that for the better part of 10 years, these were my introduction and just different stages and trying different things. This one, no, this one here, this blade,
Ooh, okay, nice
is
patina.
cable Damascus. I made this probably 20 years ago, and never did anything with the blade until with like I just needed a kitchen knife, so I went and put a handle on it, and like, and there we go. This was the first petty knife that I had made,
That's a
that
beautiful
was
patina.
really trying to refine. When my joke is that if you want to know how durable your knives are, just have family. Um,
I
I
like
said
that.
that, but they're all different tests of the design. They're all different little tweaks to design. Little tweaks to geometry, little tweaks to steel, trying different things, different sensibilities. I used to have a method for sharpening my knives that was it's just based, it was process based, rather than rather than data based. So like, database is like, okay, this is a 22-degree angle, so I always sharpen it this way on this stone, and because of the ratings in the steel, the carbides, this is the stone I selected, etc. It was entirely based around, okay, what's just a formula that works for the steel? Like, no, like, whenever I wanted to resharpen this, I would sand. I took a craft foam and glued sandpaper to it. And I'd pinch around the spine and pull and take off the patina. And then by in doing so, it would not just sand off the patina, it would reduce the edge radius back down to about zero. Then all I had to do was touch it up on a stone a couple times.
Hmm,
And so it was kind of like 3 dimension, just like, not just sharpening the edge; it was always sharpening the whole knife. I thought, like, can these things be done in at the same time?
unison.
So yeah, in unison, so that it's not having that dull pencil effect where the apex just gets more and more obtuse. Just take the blade down, take the edge down, take the blade down, takes the edge down, just like polishing. But anyway, I have
I'm
these.
gonna say I think Nate's got a more collection of his own knives than me do, because my chef knife was made by Spicy
More than
Mike,
me too.
Michael Kernley. So,
Yeah.
and then my steak knives are all. Walmart brand cheap stuff, which people give me hell for all the time. So
Yeah, that's well. I'm good at using my own chef knives, but I'm horrible about carrying around a knife, and I get teased about that constantly. Even by my kids, by my wife, by basically anyway. Whenever they need a knife, the expectation is like, chop chop. What you got?
Right.
And
So where's your knife? Yeah.
if I don't have a good answer, then I pay for it.
well
But
guys,
I have these. I'll never get. I have to build. I owe my wife a 10-year anniversary chef knife set. That'll be a
uh-oh.
subject of a whole series of content that I'm going to produce. Because she wants all the luxury updated features. She wants the carbon fiber. She wants the forged stainless, etc. But I will never get rid of these knives for the same reason we've touched on a couple times. Ride touched on it as well. Is like you keep the history, keep the or at least keep the lessons.
Yes.
Yep.
And I learned a lot in making and using these knives now in thousands of hours. 10 years into cooking for a family, pretty much every single day. So it's a lot of lessons have been learned on this set, but I've outgrown it. It's time to move on.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, words of wisdom for this episode, since this is our 1 year anniversary. Um, Brian, you knocked it out of the ballpark in what you said. Nate, take a couple minutes and then give us your words of wisdom.
Well, 1 year anniversary for you. This is about 10-year anniversary for me, and in being a business and working out of a townhouse. And I think I overheard a little bit of what Ryan was saying about if you want to do it, do it. The way you make anything happen is to make a decision about what's important to you, about what you want, and then to uh, let it rest. You've made a decision. Stop thinking about it. Now get yourself into action. Go take the next step and commit.
I
Hundred
like it.
percent.
Yeah.
I like it. Well,
So I
guys,
like.
hey, I appreciate you guys coming on. Ryan, thanks for sorry for the short notice.
Yeah.
Let's talk
I know
here.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Let's talk here for doing a one-on-one episode with you. Um,
Sure.
and get a little. We'll figure out what we want to talk. If you have any question, you want to shoot me out to here. Um,
Okay.
I'm enjoying life. I'm sleeping better now. I don't have to worry about the daily hustle. I dreaded going back into a truck, but that was my own subconscious stupidity. I'm back in the truck. I'm enjoying it. I'm working for a good company. I still like the looks on people's face when I say, "What are you doing here?" "Well, I'm on vacation. It's a paid vacation for me." So, but hey, guys, remember, stay sharp, America. And there's only one King, and that's our Lord Jesus Christ and His Savior. Have a great one. Thank you, guys, gentlemen, for us, and thank you for following Behind the Anvil for our. It's been a year. We're going to continue. We're going to bring some more awesome conversations. If anybody has somebody you want me to reach out to see who I can get on the show, drop it down in the comments. Make us comments, like, share, give us a review. Let me know how I'm doing or not. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. We'll catch you up on the next episode
Awesome.
right here
All
behind
right.
the anvil.
Good talking.